This new massive Fortnite update is straight up flipping the game on its head, and you better buckle up because this Clash of Legends is about to get absolutely feral. The second to last update just dropped, kicking off Act 3 of the confrontation and prepping us for a massive finale. This update is actually a total mystery. Even though my investigation uncovered some insane details you need to see, expect Act 3 and the epilogue to go heavy on the lore and the collabs. As always, Epic is linking up with Star Wars this May. It's already confirmed that on May 1st, we're getting the Creative Islands. But the big question is whether we're getting even more collabs. The most interesting part, however, is the one thing no one saw coming. Overwatch is going to be the massive news this week. It was originally leaked by that fired employee and rumored for the Battle Pass a while back. Since that didn't happen, there are two possibilities. Either Epic scrapped the deal because of the leak, or they just didn't finish the content in time and are sliding it in now, similar to how they handled the South Park mini pass. It would make total sense. Plus, in some recent live streams, Epic employees were even dropping hints and lines referencing Overwatch while playing Fortnite. You know what else was scrapped for this season's Battle Pass? The Path to Ragnarok bundle. Yeah, all those rumors, leaks, and theories we built before the season arrived about a Norse-themed season weren't nonsense after all. It turns out all the skins from that bundle have special IDs in the files, which usually means they were originally planned for the Battle Pass. It got me thinking, since the season was delayed and those Norse skins didn't end up in the pass, does it mean Epic scrapped the idea entirely? Or are they reworking the theme to keep it for later? And the name of the bundle itself, Path to Ragnarok, got me thinking, what if the next season is actually Norse-themed? Would you still be excited for a full Norse season? Also, don't forget to use my creator code if you're planning to grab the Ragnarok trio. Even though those skins didn't make the cut this time, do you think they would have been a better fit for the Battle Pass than what we have now? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Another weird detail that might be tied to next season, and that absolutely nobody has noticed, is that Captain America has disappeared from the Ice King's prison. If you look closely at the Ice King's castle, you can see he's clearly broken free. Although I've searched the entire island, I can't find him anywhere. Maybe he's hiding out. Or maybe he went to call in the rest of the Avengers for backup. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I'm going to keep my eyes peeled and will keep you guys updated because something really interesting is definitely brewing behind the scenes. Back to Overwatch. If that collab is the main focus, it makes perfect sense why Act 3 would wait until the following update. If you look at the image where the third part is censored, it seems to tie back to the Imagined Order, or at least Dr. Sloan, since that specific word is basically her description in the game. But like I said, that's probably for the next update, so let's look at what else is coming now. We've got the third wave of Invincible leaked. You might remember that last year one of those skins was actually free. While I'm hoping they run that back, they'll most likely just add 1 or 2 new skins to the shop this weekend or next. We've also got another collab on the way with the Brainrots. Yeah, they're doing a special event next week, and the last time they teased something like this, we got the Ballerina and Tun Sahur skins. So don't be surprised if we see a second wave of those very soon. On top of that, I've got the master list of leaks from that former employee. Since there aren't many rumors for this specific week, any of these could pop up at any moment. Sonic the Hedgehog, Kingdom Hearts, or even David Beckham, though Beckham feels more like a summer vibe for the World Cup. There's also Beyblade, and that massive leak about the boys, which everyone says is slated for the end of the season. Even though I don't think it's happening right now, I'm mentioning it just in case. So, Act 3 is looking really promising. Some creators already got to playtest the new items, like a gadget that saves you from dying in the storm. There are also leaks for a cardboard pistol, an ice crossbow, and a cannon shotgun. We might even see the Infinity Blade come back. They'll definitely be adding the final event files soon. And like I said, expect a massive finale to close out this story. Moving on to other modes, we have to look at OG. We're getting a Season 8 event very soon, but it's not going to be a carbon copy of the 2019 version. This time, it's going to involve the Dark Voyager's ship. Remember, that ship was already hovering over the vault at the start of the season, but it left when it couldn't find the fragment. It'll probably make a comeback once the 0 point gets reactivated. There's no official date yet, but leaks point to May 4th. That feels a bit weird since it's a Monday, so I'm betting it happens this weekend, either the 2nd or the 3rd. Then again, May 4th would match the 2019 timeline perfectly. If that's true, we could see the Season 10 finale happening on October 13th. At the same time, we're also got the reveal for the Fortnite Crew May skin. The design is actually pretty fire, but right now you can only catch a glimpse of it in the menu because the files probably aren't fully in the game yet. Because of that, I can't show off the alt styles, the pickaxe, or the back bling until the actual update hits. One thing you definitely need to keep in mind is that this is the final month where the Fortnite Crew gives you 1,000 V-Bucks. Starting June 6th, they're nerfing that amount down to 800. In the middle of all this drama, with V-Buck prices going up on absolutely everything, kind of like gas prices lately, Fortnite is actually making one decent move. They're starting to drop the price of some skins from 2,000 V-Bucks down to 1,500. This probably won't affect the big collabs, but those old school Chapter 1 skins that were overpriced are finally getting a price cut. We already saw it happen with one skin this past weekend, so it's a start. Now, we have to talk about a pretty controversial collab involving an artist named D4D. He's been in Fortnite for a minute with songs and emotes, and his track was the face of the FNCS last year. The music video is actually pretty cool since it uses Fortnite characters, but unfortunately, I can't say anything good about the guy behind it. If you aren't caught up, just Google the details of his trial. It's honestly some wild and messed up stuff. Because of that, Fortnite is actually letting people refund his items without using up any refund tickets. If you're wondering why they don't just scrub him from the game entirely, it's probably a legal headache. They can't just take away something you paid for or were gifted. And you know that after the latest FNCS this past weekend, the ban hammer can touch literally anyone. Except this time, the ban hammer didn't just drop on some random noob, but a legit FNCS competitor. It's no secret that Epic Games goes hard trying to fight stream snipers. Granted, I don't really feel that protection on my own streams, but whatever. When it comes to major tourneys, you gotta give the devs props. Back in 2020, Fortnite World Cup winner Aqua caught a ban on suspicion of stream sniping during an FNCS event. Turns out, Aqua's squad was watching the stream of another massive pro, Benji Fishy, who was playing his qualifiers at the exact same time. Basically, Aqua and his teammates pushed Benji's squad while knowing exactly what loot they had, their HP, and their exact callouts. Naturally, the stream snipers wiped the floor with the other pros and then decided to dip from the game to dodge the penalty. Only, their big brain play wasn't exactly foolproof, because by the next morning, Aqua was slapped with a 14-day ban and completely suspended from the tournament. Later that day, the streamer posted an apology on Twitter. I think we all get that devs are constantly battling toxicity in online games. So, long-term or permanent bans, while relatively rare, haven't really shocked anyone in a hot minute. But sometimes, mods hand out bans so absurdly long that you instantly need to know the tea. Fast forward to the summer of 2024, when some dude shared a screenshot of his Fortnite account on Reddit. You could see he got hit with a social ban for 2 million days, which is roughly 7,980 years. Honestly, social bans happen, but managing to score an 8,000-year ban? You gotta hand it to the guy, that takes actual talent. So yeah, better not risk it. Instead of waiting an eternity or getting your account completely nuked, just play the game and chill. The dudes on Reddit immediately assumed the ban was completely justified. They brought up how squeakers usually start wild, unhinged screaming matches in voice chat. Another chunk of the player base thought the gamer just got banned by mistake. However, the original poster actually showed up in the comments and straight up admitted that if he repeated the words that earned him this record-breaking Fortnite ban, he'd get permabanned off Reddit too. So, looks like the lockout was 100% deserved. Even so, I still can't wrap my head around what kind of wild out-of-pocket stuff you have to say to get put in timeout for literally forever. Either way, nobody's stopping the guy from actually playing Fortnite, since it was just a social ban, meaning he can't add friends or use voice chat. But still, playing squad fills without comms is a massive L bottom line. If you're thinking about jumping in chat to talk trash about someone's mama, their race, or whatever, just know someone might catch feelings and report you, and I highly doubt you've got 8,000 years to spare. Opening up the top 3 most absurd bans is an incident straight out of the vault, all the way back in 2018 during Chapter 1. Just think about that, man. That was a whole 8 years ago. So, in one match, a player going by the tag Elemental Ray decided it would be hilarious to ruin the entire server's day. The thing is, at that exact moment, a ton of players had teamed up in a massive truce to watch the very first live event, the rocket launch. They built this huge, sky-high viewing platform so they wouldn't miss a thing. You can probably guess where this is going. Elemental Ray just walked up and broke the foundational ramps. The whole structure came crashing down, and 48 players who were chilling up there just fell to their deaths. Naturally, Epic's system thought this play was incredibly sus, because sending 48 dudes back to the lobby in a split second is wild. So, the anti-cheat system auto-banned Ray almost immediately. To be fair, they did unban him a few hours later, but the absolute meltdown from players on Twitter and Reddit was already unstoppable. So, if you ever want to set a Guinness World Record for the most kills per second, maybe dial it back. Otherwise, you'll spend hours trying to prove you weren't using aimbot, which is practically impossible, because players don't always deserve the bans they get. Sometimes, Epic Games themselves completely drop the ball, leaving a ton of people locked out of their accounts. One of these massive screw-ups happened just a few months ago, right when Chapter 6 was launching. Obviously, the hype was through the roof, and hundreds of thousands of players were flooding the servers. Except, some of them, instead of exploring the new map, decided to spam the hell out of player support. Well, as a result, Epic's internal system totally bugged out, and the accounts of a bunch of players who spammed support were instantly banned. Naturally, within a day or so, Epic fixed the mess and handed out 2,000 V-Bucks, as our bad compensation to everyone affected, though they never really explained what caused the glitch in the first place. On the flip side, at least those guys didn't have to wait in the massive server queues like the rest of us just to check out the new season. And taking the #1 spot on our list is a case that might not seem totally absurd at first glance. It's no secret that devs in every competitive multiplayer game are constantly playing whack-a-mole with cheaters. Fortnite is obviously no exception. Granted, back in the early days when the game was just blowing up, the anti-cheat system was, to put it mildly, absolute garbage. You could easily run into a couple of hackers in your lobby, hitting back-to-back headshots while literally shooting at the dirt. And one of these cheaters, a 14-year-old kid named Caleb, wasn't just ruining games for everyone else, he was actually uploading his hacks to his YouTube channel. Epic Games wasn't about to let that slide, so they slapped the kid's family with a massive 150,000 lawsuit. They finally settled the whole circus in 2021 when Epic dropped the demand for the cash payout. But they kept the kid's account permanently banned as a hard lesson. They also forced him to scrub all the tutorial videos off his channel that were helping other script kiddies use the bot cheats. As you can see, absolutely nobody is safe from the ban wave, whether you're a literal World Cup champ or a middle school hacker. Epic's ban hammer will catch up to anyone breaking the terms of service. Yeah, that massive wall of text you always blindly scroll past and hit I agree on. So if anyone watching this video is currently using aimbot or acting like a toxic troll, ruining the community's vibe, just know they're coming for you. Anyway, as for the rest of the modes, I'm not expecting much. There's a chance for a new mode, but honestly, after the last one, I don't know if Epic is going to rush another one out. The Arena mode just launched and it's honestly been a bit of a flop. Even though it's an official Epic competitive mode, it's struggling to even crack the top 30 most played list. For comparison, Rocket Racing stayed way higher in the charts for months, with a much bigger player base. Same goes for Ballistic and others that have already been vaulted, so the future for Arena isn't looking too bright, and for the entire metaverse as well. Epic has succeeded in this before. Starting with Chapter 6, all the metaverse modes we received were maximally in the Fortnite style, where we were literally given the opportunity to play Chapter 1 of Fortnite, or Ballistic, where you played with your Fortnite skins and wraps, and Blitz mode, which is literally based on different chapters of Fortnite. This is a great concept. I like the idea that we have a main game, and we can use its skins and items in other games within Fortnite. Therefore, I think it would be great if the metaverse continued to develop in this direction. At the very least, a previously mentioned superhero shooter with DC character abilities or a multiversus with Fortnite skins would be better. Even if we're not talking about copying other games, but about original modes, there have long been rumors about a car mode. They could create a Battle Royale spin-off without weapons, where the only way to win is to fight in cars, as it was in the Wrecked season. Such a mode wouldn't take much time or money to create. It's literally just adding a couple of devices to the current Battle Royale map. Wrecked season has enough fans, and I'm more than sure that such a mode would have gathered much more online players at the start than the Fall Guys basketball, and the players would have been much happier. But instead, we got the Crown Jam mode, which has no single hint of Fortnite. You can't even pick up the bean version of a skin, and there are no Fortnite props, so it's not surprising that players have responded quite coldly to this mode. I don't oppose Fall Guys being in Fortnite eventually, but as I said, Epic needs to approach this issue very carefully and add things gradually. I want to remind you separately that this basketball mode was in development for over a year, a whole year. A huge amount of human resources and money was spent on some strange mode that will only be in the game for 2 weeks. At the same time, I want to remind you that Ballistic is still in early access. The last non-cosmetic update for Festival was in Chapter 5, when they added the battle stage. I find it unpleasant that every year we get modes that are subsequently abandoned, and nothing is done with them. The Fortnite universe is needed not just to surprise everyone with a huge number of games, but so that players can play literally anything they want within Fortnite. However, the lack of updates and content for other modes means that after a while, people simply don't want to play some of them. Honestly, it seems like there's some kind of mess going on in Epic's office. Personally, I like the concept of Fortnite becoming a launcher with a huge number of other interesting games, but this concept has an obvious implementation problem. We've touched on some of these problems earlier, but now I'd like to draw your attention to others. If Epic wants to compete with Roblox, they definitely need to do some things properly, not haphazardly. Take, for example, the thin client that they've been promising to release for 2 years now. The fact that a game with a million different modes still doesn't have proper memory management is honestly amusing. For instance, to download Roblox on your phone, you only need about 200 megabytes, but Fortnite takes up to 30 gigabytes. If a player sees some cool Battle Royale mode in Fortnite and wants to play it, they will look at the game's size and simply be too lazy to wait for it all to download, so they'll go to the same type of game, but on Roblox. This is the main problem with the concept of Fortnite as a launcher for different games. Players coming for Fall Guys, who want to play the new mode, don't care about Festival, Ballistic, or anything else, but it all takes up memory. Players need to be given the opportunity to play what they want and only have the modes they need in their memory. Instead, we have a situation where such a seemingly simple function has been promised for years, but we still haven't received it. This manifests itself in everything, including the previously mentioned support for modes. It feels like Epic's priority right now is to appease investors and show them that the metaverse concept works, while players simply cannot be convinced of this. It's unclear what will happen with Festival next. It's completely unclear whether Ballistic will ever leave beta access, or if it will suffer the same fate as Rocket Racing. Ideally, Epic should first start supporting the existing modes to boost online numbers, and make new ones that the Fortnite audience will warmly embrace, such as an extraction shooter, which is often discussed lately, or the car-based Battle Royale we talked about earlier. The metaverse should offer players the ability to play different modes, but with the current distribution of content, it turns out that people only want to play a few of them. Epic has simply abandoned some of the modes. I'm not saying the metaverse concept shouldn't exist, or that Fortnite should remain only a battle royale. No, that's a rather childish position. I'm just saying how cool it would be if the modes we already have were at least finished, and only then would they start adding things like Fall Guys and so on. After all, if Epic's goal was to drop a mode in the middle of the season, they could have released one of the old limited time modes. They have 1 million of those in reserve.